Hey guys. Okay, today I'm going to be um doing a little get ready with me, and I'm going to use the Sillisponge, and it's the Sillisponge Gold Edition right here that I got from the company directly. And I've been playing around with it over the weekend because I received it I think last Thursday. And I've been trying to find ways to that it works best or maybe as good or better than a beauty sponge. So I'm going to show some ways now. The beauty sponges do waste product because they soak it up, but they also prevent product from getting deep into lines where this doesn't do such a good job at. So those are things to keep in mind. Okay. And what I've learned best is that I can't just abandon all of my makeup tools, my foundation makeup tools when it comes to this. Okay, you see it's this little oblong, almost curved angle parallelogram type shape because it's not exactly like an oval. It has little sides to it. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first apply foundation with a foundation brush, a flat brush. And I'm using two foundations, the Super Stay Better Skin foundation from Maybelline and Maybelline Matte and Poreless. And the reason why I'm using two types of foundation is because of my problem areas. Like around my mouth, I have discoloration that needs a little extra TLC, and the Super Stay Better Skin foundation actually has vitamin C in it, and it's supposed to help improve the appearance of skin. So in these areas, that's where I use that foundation. And also on my forehead. You know how people contour their face to get like that little bronze line across there? Yeah, I naturally have that, but it doesn't always look all that great showing up as strong as it normally is in makeup. And I already primed my face and did color correcting. And I'm also gonna dab a little under my eyes and on my eyelid. I mean, you see me, I use paper towels for everything. And this is just to remove the can't even talk, excess product off of the brush and from the back of my hand. Because I use the back of my hand like a painter uses the little painting. I can't, they're all painting plate. I don't know if that's the right term for it. I forgot it. Like my mind just went blank. Ooh, a little bit too much came out. And you see that I'm kind of like just dabbing it around with the brush, because I'm just using the brush to actually put the foundation on my face, not to actually smooth, excuse me, I'm burping, smooth it around. Okay, put this back in the case here. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the Sillisponge to actually smooth the makeup over my face. And one thing I do like about using the Sillisponge is that when it comes to getting and blending into the hairline, it's actually very easy. And like any of my natural kinky curly girls out there will know that when you're trying to get that makeup blended into your edges, it could be a bit tricky for the makeup to not kind of get caked around there. And I find that this actually smooths it a little bit better now. The only thing that you will see any caking, and that's probably with if you got bone straight hair or kinky curly hair like mine, is that those gray hairs, any type of color that comes in contact with them, those gray hairs take on with ease. So you already know that any gray hairs around the hairline are going to end up being colored. Now, another thing with this for me is that when it comes to blending and smoothing around, it takes a lot longer than it does with using my regular technique, which is using a flat top foundation brush to apply and then using a beauty sponge to, you know, kind of give it that airbrush finish. And you see right here, you know, where the product is, it just smooths the product around. It doesn't, you know, absorb it in. A little bit will be on it, you know, because that just happens. Even if you use your fingers are going to get product on it. So there's not going to be a case where there isn't going to be some product that gets quote unquote wasted. So just keep that in mind. Now the reason why I say that this is where this product is a bit problematic for me is because it does get streaky. Because all it's doing is moving the product around. You know, which, you know, people can say, well, your brush kind of does that too. You know, but that's where, you know, a brush sometimes and even a regular beauty blender comes in handy. Because sometimes you need some of that extra product to be absorbed so you don't come out looking cakey. You know, what I'm trying to do now is just pat it in. And you can do the little tap, tap, tap with this. But what you got to be mindful is that when that tap, 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 you know, builds product on this, you have to wipe it off before you continue on. Because otherwise, all you're going to do is apply that excess that came off on him back to your face. Now, you see how long this is taking right now. I will say that this is not a product to be used if you're short on time to put your makeup on. I wouldn't recommend using this for everyday makeup application. I really couldn't, because it doesn't take away time, and actually adds more time to your routine. But if you're the type that uses, the bare minimum anyway, and probably doesn't even use like even a makeup sponge or any makeup tools, you just apply your foundation with your hands, or probably just use a tinted moisturizer in the morning before you go to work, this probably isn't going to be an issue for you. But if you're doing this for like a date night, or going out, with some friends, you're going to have to, carve out a little extra time, because this does require work. But if you hate the process of having to clean out your beauty sponge, then you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of that. Now, I'm 39, I'll be 40 this year. So, I have skin issues that probably you won't see a lot of YouTubers talking about, which I have fine lines around my mouth, which a lot of people, they say they got their laugh lines and stuff. But, I got more than just right here. It's down here and at the corners of my eyes. And I got a big old frown crease on my forehead that I have to contend with. And makeup just loves those areas. They like to nestle down in there, like cats like to get nestled down in the boxes. Another area you got to be careful of too is around the nose. Now I got big old stars. It's wide. So I really got to be careful, like in these folds here. And one thing that I can say that I do think, ironically, is like a good feature of this, is that it has these little edges here. And I find that those edges are kind of good for getting in around my nose and scraping out any caked in product. Now here's the thing, right here. Now, this would have been what I would have used the flat top foundation brush for. Okay, and I tried to do like the little pat. It doesn't do nearly as good a job as a beauty sponge is of giving you that great finish. So what I do is I use a paper towel. And I use it to get into those areas. Where makeup likes to cake in to my face. Now, a paper towel will remove product like a beauty sponge will. But the only difference is that the paper towel you can throw away. You don't have to worry about cleaning it. But it still doesn't, again, do as great a job as a makeup sponge does. And like I said, I gotta be honest with you, lovelies, about that, because you have to weigh the pros and cons with everything. Now, I'm the type of person that I'll find a workaround for something, especially if in the long run it makes my life easier, because I have to honestly say I hate cleaning my makeup tools. It's a hassle, it's a nag for me. So if I could find a way to not have to do that with some things, I will. Okay, now we're done with the foundation part.